Sunaina Bhaskar, a student of biotech from a nearby college in Bangalore, has reached out to me asking which field is never going to go out of fashion in the next several years. So today I am here to not just answer her question, but I'm sure this question is there with all of you. First of all, let me give you some background about Sunaina. So Sunaina Bhaskar prepared for her NEET exam after 10+2, could not qualify, missed NEET by a few marks. And then just like any other student, the next best option was biotech and life sciences. So she chose BSc Biotech. Now she is in Masters, MSc Biotech first year. But one thing is making her worried. One thing is eating her from inside, and that is which field will be the best suitable for her? Which field will never go out of fashion? So this question made her go to Google. Google told go to YouTube. YouTube told go to me. And now she had my email ID. And that is why I always share my email ID to all my students, shekhar@biotechnica.org. If you have any question, email me. I'll make a video on that. To answer Sunaina's question, and to answer everybody's question here, first thing, it is very difficult to say this particular field is going to be evergreen forever, but there are some proof which will help you arrive at a conclusion. So I'll give you the proofs, okay? And tell you one important factor which most students or bioprofessionals miss is, we all think that this particular field is going to never go out of fashion, that field will never go out of fashion, but the truth is our passion defines the fashion. If we are passionate about a field, we will never go out of fashion. Even if the field has less scope, we will be the number one. Let me give you an example. So there are very less biotech YouTubers on YouTube, right? So very less people make videos for YouTube. But since I have 20 years of experience in biotech, I've been guiding students for last 20 years. For last 6 years, I have been guiding all of you on YouTube. So that is why YouTube ranks me higher, because that's a niche field and I'm number one. So even if you're passionate about one small field also, it'll grow, okay? Now coming to the topic. The question is that, okay, which is going to be evergreen? The first thing you have to understand is fear is evergreen. So the fear of disease, bad quality medicine, the fear of new age, biowarfare or new age viruses coming in, the fear of antimicrobial resistance, this fear will always create evergreen fields, correct? So any field which is closely associated with human fear is going to go in fashion, right? So the first thing which I would like to tell you is quality control and quality assurance. As you know, the whole world today banking on good quality medicines, and these good quality medicines don't fall from sky. Somebody has to manufacture it, and somebody has to maintain the quality, somebody has to assure the quality, somebody has to regulate the quality, somebody has to look at various aspects of quality, right? So this field is never going to fade away because it is based out of fear. The fear if the drug is not up to the mark and people will start dying, right? So that can lead to a company's closure, right? So every drug, every medicine, every biologic, every biosimilar, every diagnostic kit, and any and every research grade product also has to undergo documented quality checks, quality controlled processes, and regulators do not pause just because AI is arriving. Even if AI comes into picture, what if AI goes rogue? QA, QC is always going to be in fashion, right? Yes, one thing you should know. Initially, QA, QC will get you lesser salary. But the moment you have 3 years of experience, the salary explodes. I have a friend of mine who studied with me, by the way. Today, he's director of quality assurance in one of the biggest pharmaceutical company in India. Okay, so 20 years ago, I started Biotechnica. He got into QA/QC, right? In 20 years, he's the director of QA/QC, right? Imagine. His salary itself goes in crores. And I'm proud to tell you this, that he made the right decision. And QA/QC is never going to go out of fashion, because there is a future-proof angle also. QA automation is coming. There's going to be challenges to data integrity. There is going to be more new regulations coming in. Electronic QMS, deviation and CAPA excellence and audit readiness is going to be mandatory. And that is where QA, QC is going to grow. Every company in biotech, pharma cannot. Now coming to the second field, which will never go out of fashion, it's slightly a deviation from biotech. We call it as biomedical. Now, biomedical is a field which will never go out of fashion because the amalgamation of our biotech knowledge with electronics items and using AI into that. The best example is a smartwatch. Today, your smartwatch can measure your heartbeat, ECG, it can measure a lot of things. It can even measure your anti-fall. If you're going to fall, it will detect and call the emergency services. So all of this, your biological vitals, constant monitoring, that is something wherein biomedical comes into picture. Because humans want to be healthy, they want to live longer, and your biotech and life science knowledge, when clubbed with electronic equipments, creates wonders. For example, pacemaker. Many people are alive today just because the pacemaker exists, right? So that is where biomedical engineering is going to explode, and using AI now, there will be even better integration, right? So that is a field which is going to grow. The third field which I would like to highlight here is bioinformatics, AI, and data science. Now, I mean, this is not just a evergreen field, but it's a growing field, it's an evolving field, and it is always going to be in fashion because it is closely connected to computers, right? And the computing power of today is going to be, of tomorrow is going to be 10x of today. So every 4 years, the computing power quadruples, right? Or becomes 10 times. So that is where bioinformatics is going to explode. Now, there are three parallel things happening in our world which you should be aware of. The first is, of course, bioinformatics. The second is computing. The third is AI. So computing power, that is quantum computing, is coming into picture. So imagine bioinformatics clubbed with all that quantum computing power clubbed with AI. It's a huge impact for all of you, because bioinformatics softwares will explode. The number of open source as well as closed source drug discovery softwares will explode, and that is where now you require more computing requirement. You can see right now RAM is costlier, the memory, the processors are costlier, right? But the moment quantum computing comes into picture, all the price will be leveled, because quantum computing will take care of AI. We don't need regular RAM, regular CPUs, right? So this is the third exploding field, evergreen field, which is going to be with you. And if you want to learn bioinformatics, if you want to learn data science and AI, you can learn that at Biotechnica. We are starting a complete training for an entire year, 4 years of group training followed by 12 months of project, which will give you an industrial exposure and help you publish paper, and that will lead to better employability for all of you in the future. So that's the third field. Now, coming to the fourth field which I have for you is regulatory affairs, and that too global regulatory affairs. Now, why it won't fade is because approvals, labeling, submission, post-approved changes, inspection, and constant across all modalities like small molecules, biologics, and cell gene, all of this is going to grow up. So that is why it is never going to fade, but there is a future-proof angle. The global strategies are changing. US, European Union, India, the regulatory landscape is changing, the regulatory intelligence is changing. Now AI is coming into picture. Submission operations are becoming more complex. RWE and real-world evidence integration is now becoming mandatory. And that means if you learn global regulatory affairs, again, this is going to grow and explode. This is not a research job, but this is better than research, I would say. It's inside a computer, but applies your life science knowledge and helps you get a job. So for those who are struggling for wet lab, you can get this dry lab job. It's not research, but it happens after the research, right? So this is a great place to be in. Now, the fifth one which I have for you is bioprocess and manufacturing, upstream and downstream processing. A lot of money can be made remotely as well as on ground if you learn bioprocess. Now, there's a lot of tech transfer happening between startups and scaled up companies. Discovery is optional, but manufacturing is mandatory, because if you don't manufacture products, of course, you cannot go into the market, right? Because the product, you can't get revenue. So scale up and reproducibility of whatever was done in the lab. As a professional, you can run plants, you can troubleshoot it. You have a future-proof angle also, because now AI comes into bioprocess, single-use systems, PAT, continuous manufacturing, batch process modeling, automation, SCADA literacy is going to be mandatory. So this field is also going to explode. Like in my previous video also I have told you, I know somebody who is sitting in Kanpur and getting a $68,000 salary per month, and he is just guiding someone in Canada setting up their bioprocess plant, and then he's going to fly into Canada and work in that plant. Imagine. So this is kind of jobs you can get in bioprocess. Now, the sixth one which I have for you is clinical research and pharmacovigilance drug safety. So like I said, this is all connected, by the way. Computing, bioinformatics and AI explodes. That leads to more drugs discovered. That leads to more clinical research. That leads to more regulatory requirements, drug safety monitoring and pharmacovigilance. It's all connected, right? It's like dominoes, okay? One after the other, right? So what really happens? Trials will keep happening and exploding. Now companies are going to, tier 2 and tier 3 cities in India, villages, to conduct clinical trials. And once the product is launched, even after that, safety monitoring is non-negotiable. Risk management plans has to be designed, signal detection has to be there, safety databases has to build, and decentralized trials, AI-assisted case processing with human oversight, of course. All of this requires a lot of expertise, and as a life science graduate or postgraduate, you can learn clinical research or pharmacovigilance or both. Well, all this training is available on Biotecnika. Do not worry, you can check the details in the comment section. Now let us look at the seventh ever growing field, which is sales marketing. Now, this is something which nobody talks about. See, if you have so many products coming into the market, somebody has to sell, right? So sales and marketing in pharma is going to explode. Now, many people think that you have to go and do door-to-door selling. No. In pharma, government does not allow door-to-door selling, right? So the sales is always technical sales. For example, Merck has a equipment, or Biocon has a drug which needs to be reached out to doctors. So you are licensing with the doctor, or you're licensing with some government institutions to sell the equipment, right? So this is how the technical sales work. You're not going and selling, please buy my product. Instead, you are telling what are the features, how it will benefit. So you're going, giving presentations and coming back. The organization might place an order or doesn't place an order. That's not up to you. So this is where your application scientist or technical sales specialist jobs will come, right? So these are the 7 to 8 fields. Any one of these, if you choose, you're going to grow. But most of these fields, your university will not train you, your college might not have told you about it, and now you are in a dilemma where to get this training. That is where Biotecnika's platform comes into picture. We fix the skill gap and we make you employable and we place you. Every day, almost every day, Biotecnika posts one student success story where we have placed them into our any other company, right? So we are doing it day in, day out. Every day we are placing candidates. You can learn any of these and get placed in any of these companies. However, remember one thing, your passion will never go out of fashion. So even if you choose any other field apart from this, if you are passionate about it, you are going to grow. So all the best, and comment below what more you would like to learn, and I will definitely make a video. All the best. Take care.